morning, everybody. I'm Danielle O'Dell, Wildlife Research Ecologist at the Nantucket Conservation Foundation, and wanted to give you another update on the progress of the Southern Pine Beetle management at the Westgate site of Ram Pasture. So as you can see, we are on an active construction zone. You can see some of the remaining trees that are still alive that have not been infested by beetles, and also behind me, many of the trees that have died. They were infested, the beetles vacated, and we can leave those standing because they provide great wildlife habitat and they no longer have any beetles in them. This was all under a management plan that was drafted by a Massachusetts licensed forester and was approved by the Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation as well as Natural Heritage. We're not real happy about all of this. It's sad for me personally because this is the site where we first found northern long-eared bats on Nantucket. It's an important site for the birders of the island. And these are old woods. We found some trees in here that were upwards of 180 years old. But the silver lining is that this forest was actually very overgrown, not particularly healthy, and allows us an opportunity to do some really good restoration in this site. So as much as we do not like to be cutting down trees, this is the prescribed management for the Southern Pine Beetle outbreaks. Long Island, New York has been dealing with outbreaks since 2014, so we have had some time to learn from them what's worked, what hasn't worked, and unfortunately, cutting down trees as soon as we possibly can when an outbreak is occurring will definitely slow the spread of pine beetles from this pitch pine forest to the other forests across the island. We will definitely need the public's help. Now that we know what to look for and we know that they're here, it is absolutely a matter of time before we start seeing them in other places. But if we can get ahead of them as quickly as possible, then we have our best shot at suppressing an outbreak. So we really encourage everyone to be looking at the trees as they're walking throughout the warmer times in the winter and into the spring. Learn the signs of Southern Pine Beetle, and if you see anything suspicious, report it immediately, and then we have our best shot at getting ahead of this. Want to note that this forest wasn't a particularly healthy forest to begin with. We don't do a lot of forest management on Nantucket. We're all very reluctant to touch our forests, cut down any trees. We've just always been very hands-off. And we're realizing now that that has actually contributed to the problem, and that these overgrown forests that are not very healthy, not very resilient, are more susceptible to Southern Pine Beetle outbreaks. So while this didn't make us very happy to have to do, we are looking at it as an opportunity now to do some forest management going forward and some restoration at this site. So this site looks terrible at the moment, but we're quite sure that there will be a lot of regeneration. We're already seeing some regeneration of some goldenrod, some oak, poison ivy, of course, coming up already. And next year we're sure that we're going to be seeing a lot of low-growing other shrubs, and we'll be doing some replanting of coastal heathland and sampling grassland species in this site as well. So taking out some of the more unhealthy trees, opening up the understory is going to be beneficial for this forest in the long run.